All right, let's talk about AI. You hear about it all the time, right? It can write code, it can paint pictures, but can it be funny? That's the real question. Let's find out. Go ahead. You can groan. I'll wait. I mean, it's technically a joke, right? It's got the setup, it's got the punchline, but there's just something missing, that little spark of human wit. And, well, there's a really good reason for that.
Yup, you guessed it. That joke came straight from an AI. I actually asked GPT-3 to tell me a joke, and that's what I got. But here's the fascinating part. The technology that allows an AI to understand the structure of a joke, even if it completely misses the mark on the humor, that's what we're going to dig into today. So at the very core of models like GPT-3, there's this incredible piece of tech called a transformer. And the name is just perfect, because that's literally what it does. Its whole job is to take one sequence of stuff, say a question you type in, and transform it into a totally new sequence, like, a pretty lame banana joke.
Okay, so how does this whole transformer thing actually work? I know, the name sounds super complex, maybe like something out of a sci-fi movie, but the basic idea? It's actually way more straightforward than you'd think. It all really just boils down to a simple two-part process.
Probably the easiest way to wrap your head around a transformer is to just picture a super smart language translator. Let's say you've got a sentence in English and you want to turn it into French. The transformer is the engine that does all the heavy lifting to make that happen, and it does it in two really clear steps.
So first up, you've got the encoder. Its only job is to read that original English sentence and basically digest it, turn it into this special numerical code that captures all the meaning and the context. Then it hands that code over to the decoder. And the decoder's job is to take that understanding and start writing out the new sentence, word by word, in French. See? It's pretty simple when you think about it. You've got one part that reads, the encoder, and one part that writes, the decoder. But, okay, this is where it gets really, really cool. What makes these transformers so much more powerful than the AI models that came before them? Well, it's this special ingredient. You could call it the secret sauce, and it's called the attention mechanism. Now, to really get why this was such a game changer, we got to look back at what we had before. The older models, these things called RNNs, had a huge problem. They had to read a sentence one word at a time, in order. Just imagine trying to read a long, complicated paragraph like that. By the time you get to the end, you've totally forgotten what the beginning was about. It was so slow, and it was this huge bottleneck. Transformers? They just blew that all up. They processed the entire sentence all at once, in parallel. And that massive speed up wasn't just a nice little improvement. No, it was the key that let us train these models on the gigantic piles of data on the internet, which is what makes the AI we have today even possible. And that incredible ability to see everything at once? That is powered by attention. It's a system that lets the model look at a whole sentence and figure out which words are the most important for understanding the meaning of every other word. It's literally paying attention to the relationships that actually matter. So how in the world does it decide what's important? Well, to simplify it a lot, you can kind of think of it like there's a mini web search happening inside the AI's brain. For every single word it's looking at, it's basically Googling all the other words in the sentence to see which ones are the most connected. And this internal search thing, it works using this really slick three-step process. So for any word, it first sends out a query. It's basically asking, hey, which other words in this sentence are most relevant to me? Then it scans all the other words and checks their keys. You can think of these like keywords or tags. When it finds the words that have the best matching keys, it pulls in their value, which is their meaning. And it uses that meaning to get a much richer understanding of itself. And the craziest part? This is happening for every single word at the exact same time, creating this super complex web of meaning for the whole sentence. And this powerful ability to understand context, it goes way beyond just translating languages or, telling terrible jokes. The applications here are just huge. I mean, for instance, transformers are the engines running the tools that can take a super long article and just summarize it for you in a couple of sentences, or even draft a whole blog post from scratch. But it's not just about text. This exact same architecture has been used to teach an AI to play chess at a grandmaster level, and even to do really complex image processing. Oh, and yeah, they can write poetry too, which, let's hope, is a little better than their jokes.
All right, so we started with a silly banana joke,
And now we're kind of deep in the technical weeds. But let's bring it back. Why does this architecture, which was only invented a few years ago, why does it matter so much to you, right here, right now?
Okay, if you take one thing away from this, let it be this. The transformer isn't just some niche piece of technology for computer scientists. It is the fundamental building block, the foundation, for pretty much all of the generative AI that you're hearing about constantly. These huge systems they call large language models or LLMs, they all have a transformer right at their core. So when you hear about GPT or any of these other big names, what you're really hearing about is the power of the transformer. This technology is just moving at a mind-blowing pace. It's getting more powerful, more capable, literally every single day. Which, of course, leaves us with one last, very important question to think about. Who knows? Pretty soon they might actually figure out how to tell a banana joke that makes you laugh.